What's up, everyone? It's Ruby here, bringing guys another video. Today we're gonna do two different videos. Okay, one is gonna be talking about this latest episode, the last episode of season 1, and the next video is gonna be talking about the whole season as a grand scale. What I think of it, really going in deep with everything, criticisms, positivity, everything. But let's start with this episode. So this episode is what we're going to be talking about only. It was alright. I think that it lacked the epicness that it could have been when wrapping up the show. I don't think the action scenes were handled well. We blazed by the fight with Ares and sped through the fight with Luke. And I don't think that's great. I understand they probably used their VFX budget and everything, probably for the waves and everything, and the masterboard itself. Maybe, I don't know. I just feel like it feels like it's missing something, just a little bit. I think I imagined the confrontation with Luke to be a little bit different. Like, for example, in the actual book, it's more sneaky, I think. I don't even think Percy really knows that it's Luke. I don't hate it. I just don't love it. That's the thing about this. And we'll get into it with the overall series. I'm just trying to see. I'm just kind of bummed that we didn't get this scorpion. I feel like we could have squeezed it in there. Let me see. The confrontation with Luke. Trying to see where it begins. I found the scene, I just don't know where it begins. Oh, here, maybe? Let's see. Finally saw me and stopped mid-swing. Percy. Sorry, it's okay. I just do it for last minute practice. Show some backbiter. You probably can't. It's one of a kind. Miss being on the quest. Hang out laurels. Oh, I'm leaving, alright, Percy. I brought you down here to say goodbye. He snapped his fingers. A small fire burned a hole in the ground at my feet. Out crawled something glistening black, about the size of my hand, a scorpion. I started to go for my pen. I wouldn't, Lee cautioned. Pit scorpions can jump up to 5 meters. Its stingers can pierce right through your clothes. You'll be dead in 60 seconds. Luke, what? Then it hit me. You will be betrayed by one who calls you a friend. You, I said. He stood calmly and brushed off his jeans. The scorpion paid him no attention. It kept its beady black eyes on me, clamping its pincers as it crawled onto my shoe. I saw a lot there in the world, Percy, Luke said. Didn't you feel it? The darkness gathering, the monsters growing stronger. Didn't you realize how useless it all is? All the heroics being pawns of the gods. They should have been overthrown thousands of years ago, but they've hung on thanks to us half-bloods. I couldn't believe this was happening. Luke, you're talking about our parents, I said. He laughed. That's supposed to make me love them? The precious Western civilization is a disease, Percy. It's killing the world. The only way to stop it is to burn it to the ground. Start over with something more honest. You're as crazy as Ares. His eyes flared. Ares is a fool. He never realized the true master he was serving. If I had time, Percy, I could explain. But I'm afraid you won't live that long. Scorpion crawled onto my trouser leg. There had to be a way out of this. I needed this time to think. Kronos, I said. That's who you serve. The air got colder. You should be more careful with names, Luke warned. Kronos got you to steal the master bolt and the helmet. He spoke to you in your dreams. Luke's eyes twitched. He spoke to you too, Percy. You should have listened. He's brainwashing you, Luke. You're wrong. He showed me that my talents are being wasted. You know what my quest was 2 years ago, Percy? My father, Hermes, wanted me to steal a golden apple from the Garden of Hesperides and return it to Olympus. After all the training I'd done, that was the best he could think of. That's not an easy quest, I said. Hercules did. Exactly, Luke said. Where's the glory in repeating what others have done? All the gods know how to do is replay their past. My heart wasn't in it. The dragon in the garden gave me this. He pointed angrily at his scar. And then I came back. All I got was pity. I wanted to pull Olympus down stone by stone right then. But I bided my time. I began to dream of Kronos. He convinced me to steal something worthwhile, something no hero has ever had the courage to take. When we went on that winter solstice field trip, while the other campers were asleep, I sneaked into the throne room and took Zeus's master bolt right from his chair. Hades, helmet of darkness too. You wouldn't believe how easy it was. The Olympians are so arrogant. They never dreamed someone would dare steal from them. Their security is horrible. I was halfway across New Jersey before I heard the storms rumbling, and I knew they'd discover my theft. The scorpion was sitting on my knee now, staring at me with its glittering eyes. I tried to keep my voice level. So, why didn't you bring the items to Kronos? Okay, you get the whole point, though. Yeah, you don't have to include the whole, confrontation and explaining everything. But it would have been nice to have a little bit more perspective from Luke as to why he's doing this. I mean, we got a little bit of it, that he's recruiting and everything. But he didn't really explain why. And I think that I just think that we'll talk about the show, but especially with this episode, I just feel like it lacked execution. I also think it would have been funny if when they were panning out for the final scene, we saw like a little stone statue with absolutely no explanation. That would have been funny. That would have been a funny Easter egg, and I think they should have done it. It would have been a nice detail, because we book readers would know what that is, and it would be a nice Easter egg, and then we could explain to people why there's a stone statue in the middle of the room. But we didn't do that. In fact, we didn't even get to see the gods, and I see why they had them miss the deadline. And the real reason is because they didn't want to cast the entire Olympians, which I just think is kind of lazy. Like there was no consequence of missing the deadline. There was nothing. There was no consequence. You would think there would be a consequence, but there wasn't. In the background, there might have been, but we didn't see that consequence unfold. And I think if you're going to make so many changes to the story, there has to be a reason why. And not just for budget. I think a lot of this is because of budgeting. Like, they didn't want to cast the entire Olympians, so they decided that it would be just Zeus and Poseidon. But they could have just done that from the get-go. They didn't need to have all the Olympians there. They could have just had Zeus and Poseidon and maybe even Hades. But they didn't need to have the entire council. It's just a weird way to unfold things and just have zero consequence. I mean, I know Zeus was going to kill him, but it's just strange. I feel like there's a lot to talk about, and most of it has to do with the entire show. So I think we're going to skip to that video. Unfortunately, there's not a lot to talk about in this episode. I like that they're setting up for season 2, aka Sea of Monster. I just hope that the next season shows a lot of improvements. I don't think it has to be like word for word like the book. I don't think that at all. But I think the execution of the show is weird, and I think it is because I know everything that happens. Like, there's no surprises really. It's just a matter of how it's gonna happen, and it does make me a little bit nervous. Like I said, I've said this before. I am absolutely nervous, mainly about season 3 and season 5, which is Titan's Curse and Last of the Lamb. I'm nervous because those are some of my favorite books, and I'm nervous as how they're going to change it. Because I expect they will change a lot about the Titan's Curse, because there's a lot of scenes that they're not going to be able to do, especially in the style that they're doing it, and that makes me scared, because I love the Titan's Curse for many reasons. Especially because of how dark it is. Like, it is truly dark. Like, it's as dark as you get with a kid's book. I understand the show is kind of meant for kids, or at least young people. I think I have my opinions on that. I think there's just ways you could have done this to have it faithfully adapt to the books, and unfortunately we just didn't get that. The stuff that I have to talk about will be said in the next video, so stay tuned for that. Let me know, though, down below what you think of this episode. I'll do, like I said, I'm gonna do one talking about the entire series so far, but I want to know what you think of this episode specifically. Let me know down in the comments. Until then, peace out, guys. It's been a blast. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.